Alright, so in number 5, we're trying to solve this equation. And in order to solve the equation, we know we have to have it set equal to 0. So let's first deal with this negative 10 before we do anything else. So we have 2x cubed minus 8x squared minus 4x plus 16 equals 0. So now we have to figure out a way to solve this. Now we could go ahead and say what are our possible zeros and find all the factors of our constant term 16 and divide by all of our factors of our leading coefficient would be 2. Then go to our calculator, find a 0, and go through the synthetic division process, and that would work. But this is a case where we can do something that's going to be a little bit faster than that. So if we look at this and we group our first two terms, and we group our second two terms, let's see if we can factor something out of both of these so that we'll have the same two values inside of our parentheses. So just looking at this first term, what can we factor out of that? Well, we can factor out a 2x squared. Factor out 2x squared, we'll be left with x minus 4. So now what can we factor out of this second term so that we'll be left with an x minus 4? Well, we'll need to factor out a minus 4. So we'll factor out negative 4, x minus 4. And that's all equal to 0. Now, one of our factors will be what's outside of the parentheses, and the other will be what's left inside. So we'll have 2x squared minus 4 as one factor, and x minus 4 as our other factor. That's all equal to 0. So now we're in a case that we were before where we just have these two factors. We'll set both of them equal to 0. So if we have 2x squared minus 4 equals 0, we'll have 2x squared equals 4. We just added that 4 over. Divide by 2, x squared equals 2. So x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 2. And now we have our other factor, set that equal to 0, and we'll have x equals 4. And those are our two solutions. So again, we could have gone through and done our synthetic division process, checked our graph, and gone through that and gotten the same answers. But there are certain times where if you have this case where you have all your exponents are accounted for, so you have an x cubed, an x squared, an x, and a 6, or your constant term happens to be 6. Well, we added 10 over here, so we got 16. But anyway, so if you have all your exponents accounted for, then you might be able to use this factoring by grouping. So that's a good strategy because it saves you a lot of time and there's much less room for error. So anyway, these are our two solutions.